Okay, so I spent a long time listening to music, and I guess you could say becoming an audiophile. And you can stream music, and that's okay. But when you start getting physical media, such as CDs or even better records, you start to appreciate music more. You listen to it rather than just hear it. It's something that you get, and you just feel a connection to the music that's impossible through streaming. And since I'm a lover of movies as well, of course, like I said in a previous video, lots of my musical taste has come from the soundtracks from certain movies, and I do like buying a lot of soundtracks on records, along with lots of other bands. But one thing that if you're going to get into vinyl at all, or if you already have records, one thing that I think is such a minefield to get through is cleaning the records. There's going to be a percentage of people out there who don't think that cleaning records needs to be done, or it's not something that crosses their mind, or they're going to do the minimum. They're going to be confused by all the different methods of cleaning records. If you try to look it up online, like how do you clean a record, you're going to get thousands of responses from all sorts of sites and YouTube and whatnot. And one person will say, do this. Then someone else will say, no, that's going to ruin the record. No, that's terrible. You don't do that. Do this. And it's just, it can almost get to the point where it's gonna overcome people, and they may not really like the idea of records if it becomes too complicated to clean them. And it's not an easy process. It's not a cheap process, but on the other hand, it's not incredibly hard, and it's not incredibly expensive either. And after years, and especially in this past couple months, a lot of trials, lots of listening, lots of cleaning, lots of listening again to see what changes they made, lots of thinking about the way I want to approach cleaning, and you can either take someone's word for it, like mine, and do exactly what I do and then be done with it. Or if you want to do the research like I did and figure it out for yourself, go for it. But I will say that after all my research that I've done, and it's not over yet, I could do way more research if I was in a scientific lab and I had time and a lot more money to do it. Sure, I could dive deeper than this, but this is it. This is my cleaning method, and I'm going to start off by talking about a couple different levels of cleaning. The first one is the absolute most basic one. It's just about pointless to do for cleaning a record, but it's great for upkeep. And I will do this technique before every play of a record. But you get yourself a record brush like this, opens up, and here's another point of contention. Exactly how do you do it? Do you place it on the record and then just lift up? Do you place it on the record and move out? Who am I to say what the exact best method of doing this is? But I will include some samples in the video here towards the end, and you will see that and I've only done this on a couple of records here, but starting off with this Johnny Rivers record that I bought at Goodwill. Super dirty, super scratchy. It was a mess. But what I did first was set it on the turntable, turn it on, put this on there, go around a couple times, try to clean off. There was a lot of visible dust and things on top of it, little hairs and things like that. Try to clean that off all the best I could. Play it. Sounds atrocious. But I did that as a first step. And I will tell you right now, you can hear it in the samples, but you're not going to do this to clean the record. You're just not going to do it. This is mostly for a clean record that you clean with using this right before you play it, just to get any random little whatever that could possibly come on the record between you taking it out of its sleeve and putting it on the turntable. But it's just a little tradition. Put the record on the turntable, turn it on, take a couple passes with this just to make sure you're all good. And yeah, nice little handy tool, $10 or so. And it does a nice job for that finishing little touch right before you play the record. If you want to obviously go up from there, because you're not going to be buying, there's no record that you do want to buy and not clean it in some way. So the second method that you could do is a kind of a wet clean, and you will see these a lot out there, these record brushes, and you spray some type of solution on the record, you move the brush around, and you're supposed to be all good. I never liked that method. It didn't make any sense to me. If you have a groove of a record and you just put some solution on there and take a brush, well, you might get some stuff that clings to the brush, but any other dirt any dust that's going to be on the record, aren't you just kind of pushing it down onto the record and just leaving it there? So yeah, so that's not very good. I would not even bother with that method. I just don't think, I think it's if you're going to take the time to clean a record, do a decent job of it. So I would say the minimum cleaning that you want to do is a vinyl vacuum. There's all sorts of methods out there of vacuuming a record, and it sounds kind of funny, vacuum the record, but here we have the most inexpensive one, Vinyl Vac, and basically it just attaches to a little shop vacuum, I think 2.5 horsepower or so, and you have some protecting felt here, goes on the top of the record. You'll see it here in a moment how I use it. Very, very simple to use, but basically what you want to do is you get a cleaning solution. You can buy a cleaning solution, you can make your own. I've chosen to make my own. It's about, and once again, someone's going to say, oh, don't do this. Other people will say it's perfectly fine, but you get some isopropyl alcohol, and I think a 4-to-1 is pretty good. 4 parts distilled water to 1 part rubbing alcohol, and then throw in a couple drops of a surfactant. And you'll hear that word surfactant, and I'm very cheap about my surfactant. Could I upgrade it and maybe get things cleaner? I'm not a scientist. I might test that theory later on, but for now, I use the dishwasher, not the detergent, but the jet dry stuff. Just put a couple drops in there, and then you'll see, like you'll see in the video here coming up, you'll see me clean it with one of these things. I get a couple of these. You'll clean the outside of the record. It's soft, but it does a pretty good job of hopefully breaking up anything off the surface, anything that could be slightly stuck to the record, and clean it up. And then you're going to vacuum that up, because like I was saying, when you clean a record with like a brush, you're just pushing it into the record even more. But with this, anything that's dirty will suck it right up out of the record. Makes total sense, and as you'll see, a gigantic sound improvement after you use this. So could you stop there? Yeah, I think that's a perfectly fine place to stop as far as cleaning. Very simple. You clean it, you scrub it, vacuum it, and then since you don't want any residue on the record, then you will use some just straight up distilled water, put some of that on there, and then vacuum that up as well. And then there you go. Now there's another level up. It's called ultrasonic cleaning. And ultrasonic is a bit different. It's a step that I do after vacuuming, because I still kind of do a multi-step process. I will vacuum everything up, get a nice, best as I can presentation of the record before I put it into the ultrasonic cleaner. But basically what this is it's a tub of water, and it was meant for cleaning jewelry and auto parts, things like that. But basically it and I'm no expert, but it shoots bubbles in the water, and these tiny microscopic bubbles hit the record and explode, and they're so small that they can get down into the very bottom of the crevice. So anything that's stuck in the very bottom of that V along the record theoretically is going to be cleaned out with ultrasonic cleaning, because some of that stuff just cannot be cleaned out with a vinyl vac. So yeah, it shoots into the record groove, explodes, and any debris that's caught will fall out. And depending on the record, you're going to have slightly different results. I put it in the machine for about 5 minutes or so on a really good record, maybe 10 minutes if the record is especially dirty. But I think if you don't notice any noise disappearing after you do it, what it can do is it actually makes the sound a bit more fuller. It actually changes the dynamics of the sound, sometimes just a little bit. Sometimes I've noticed a big improvement, and then on some records I will hear things get definitely cleaner using the ultrasonic that I just could not get with the vinyl vac. I was listening to an older copy of the Beatles' Abbey Road the other day, and there's a click, a persistent click every revolution, and that the ultrasonic cleaner cleaned it right up. So that's kind of a step 3. Mine cost $160. You can get models out there that cost $400. You can get models out there that cost several $1,000s. Are they better? I don't know. I don't have several $1,000s to throw down on one of those machines and do my scientific test just yet. Maybe in the future. But records are not cheap. I think spending $160 on an ultrasonic machine, to me, is well worth it, because the cleaner the record is, the longer it's going to last, and the longer your turntable is going to last because of it. So to me, $160 is well worth it for my ultimate enjoyment of when I'm playing. This you can make on your own, and it's a PVC pipe. It's probably less than $10 to make on your own. I just purchased this for $30 just because I don't have the tools to make my own. But if all else fails, and there's something on the record that just somehow will not get clean, maybe you can do some scientific work on the record. And this is not something I would recommend just for the average person to get, because the average person is going to say that this is going through too much trouble to clean a record. I find it kind of fun, but you can get one of these little microscopes. I got this for $15, and you plug it into a computer, and it will show you a live video of what the microscope sees, and it just gets ultra close to those grooves, and you can literally take a toothpick. You can take a not so sharp needle if you really want to be ballsy, but you can get in there and just get right and down into the grooves as close as you can and pick out anything that could just be stuck behind. This record right here, there was debris on top of the record that through all this cleaning that I didn't get it off of there. It was just literally stuck on the surface of the record. And using this and a toothpick, I was able to break up bits and pieces and then do another cleaning to get lots of little debris off the record. So so I don't know. I think this is worth it, just to really, especially if you have some pricey records. it may take you a little while just to cover the entire record, but there could be a couple of spots on a good record that just annoy you, and you can fix it. You can fix scratches with that. There's all sorts of nice little things you can do with that microscope and a toothpick that just may not be able to be done cleaning. So as far as the my testing goes that I did the Johnny Rivers. That was a mess of a record. Then I did a kind of an in-between record. We got this soundtrack for Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Really fun movie. Great soundtrack. Boy, I love soundtracks because sometimes you can get a grouping of songs that would be really hard to source out. I mean, you can spend a lot of money and find every single song on here in their own records. But I'm not for that. Plus, you can kind of relive the movie by re-listening to the soundtrack. But this was a kind of a mid-quality record as far as wear and tear and scratches go. It was definitely dirty. So we did some testing with that, and then just got this in the mail today. So tested this, but this was brand new. And we had the half-speed Abbey Road pressing of The Who's Tommy. And no matter what, even if it's a brand new record, I will still go through the same process of cleaning. The wet clean with the vinyl vac and the ultrasonic, and then when you're all done with the ultrasonic, you use the vacuum again, like you see in the video, and then set the record on a drying rack. What I have found with this is when you use this, it can create static. Of course, you're rubbing up against a record, so you're going to get some static. So as kind of a final step before I set the record on a rack to dry, is I will take a lightly damp little cloth like this, not a cloth that's going to shed, but a cloth, and just very lightly damp and go over the record. And my purpose of that is that actually, to me, really gets rid of the static, and then you're good to go. Now, if all else fails, you've done everything you could possibly can to make a record sound as best as you can, prolong the life of the record or your turntable. You've done everything you can think of. Then sometimes just simply playing the record can get it clean. The needle of the stylus is going to get down to the very bottom of the groove more than just about anything out there, so it could actually pick up some stuff and kind of help you out. Make sure you clean the stylus as well. But yeah, this was just a video I wanted to get out there just to throw my hat in the ring of how I have developed a cleaning method of cleaning records. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Or have you ever thought about getting records? Do you already have records? Have you thought about cleaning them? Am I doing something wrong? I don't think so, because I have tested cleaning records. I ruined a record just testing different methods of cleaning it, and so this was a lot of Reddit posts, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of articles, a lot of scientific testing to come down to this method. And yeah, if you want to know anything more, I would say don't take my word for it. Check out other people's videos. But if you do want to take my word for it, if I come off as being knowledgeable on the subject, then go for it. Listen to the samples here at the end. Think if is the vinyl vac good enough, or do you want something that can just be even just a tiny little bit more better? Then get the ultrasonic machine. But yeah, here comes the samples, and we got 3 for you. And let me know what you think, and have a good evening.